Hey everybody, it's Wisp, and Fire Emblem Engage is coming out. They're starting their pre-release hype. For now, I want to talk about the way that this game is going to reference every Fire Emblem game before it. At the very least, the mainline ones, possibly the spin-offs as well. But this is going to be huge, and those references might be in ways of like names and characters. I'm even saying taking aside the 12 emblems, we're going to get more because the whole point is celebrating the 30th anniversary. So some of those references are coming in the ways of characters, like we have Vander, who is clearly our Jagan, which, just in case you're not familiar, the Jagan is a character who usually is older, and usually has had a hand in training the main cast, but they are now leagues above. They're a great class, but they have really bad growth rates, and using them kind of siphons EXP from the weaker units, so you'll get punished if you use them too much early on. But there's also Frame and her potentially brother, the guy in green that stands by her. She wears red. She's a gauntlet wielder, which probably means that she's got that fiery and more forward personality. Whereas he uses magic. He's more reserved. He's standing in the back lines. And I think they're going to be a great duo. But also, some of the characters, they're the bull and the panther. They're solely in stall. The green one is very reserved and quiet. Sometimes he's a bit of a flirt. This guy looks kind of young and kind of shy. I don't think we'll get the flirt line with him. Probably the by the books, follow the rules, be reserved. Maybe they're young dragon guardians and they don't want to get involved in the wrong ways. Dragon guardians guard the dragon Alir, whereas Frame wants to get up and involved in everyone's business. Both references to the first game, but both of those are carried out throughout several Fire Emblem games. We've got Anna. You need Anna for the 30th anniversary. There are other things, right? If this is the 30th anniversary, you need your Chrom and Ephraim. I'm thinking maybe after you beat the game, you get like a new game plus, sort of like how you would get the Crest Stones in Three Houses, and you can buy more emblems. Maybe they come as DLC. But those aren't even what I'm talking about. I'm saying, as we're playing this game, I think we're going to get a lot of little things. And the first one that we can see pretty easily is we got murals again. Those were never in Fire Emblem, and then they came right after Three Houses. That's a small reference. That's just a little thing that you can look at and be like, reminds me of this. We're fighting a fell dragon again. We've fought in a lot of shadow dragons, evil dragons, demons. But the fell dragon was specifically Grima, and now there's a second fell dragon. Now, Chrom was the champion of Naga, and Robin was the vessel of Grima. I don't think Alir's going to have like a best friend sort of figure who is the fell dragon, but I do think that Alir is either the divine dragon, like we're led to believe, but potentially, the child of the divine dragon, or a champion of the divine dragon. Maybe that's why the memories got messed up. In any of those circumstances, I do think that there is a human vessel for the fell dragon. I think they're going to meet, and it's going to be, instead of like a Chrom and Robin relationship, a much more strong rivalry. Might give us a look at what things would have been like if they never even met. Not like canonically what it would have looked like, but kind of an idea. And I'm excited for those little references. I'm really excited to pick apart and see what is purposefully nodding to previous Fire Emblem games. Not directly stolen from, but just nods. Right now we know that there are 4 kingdoms that make up Elios. Fifth if you count the Divine Land in the middle, but 4 major ones. And we'll meet the 4 nobles from them, or 4 of the nobles. We see them on the team and on the box art. So is this going to be kind of a Erica, Ephraim, Tana, Ennis, La Rochelle, Joshua, like a Sacred Stones type of feeling to it, where we get all the nobles and try to help restore their lands while also making peace? Varying kingdoms is a very popular thing in Fire Emblem, which is why I'm not for sure saying that's going to be a nod yet, but when we look closer at it, we might see that, like, hey, this borrows from Sacred Stones. And normally, a game built to borrow things from all these other games would be kind of annoying. But this was a love letter, and I think it will be done with love in a way that it feels unique, but also lets the players who were there for those moments see that that's what that moment's all about. Which is why Alir's hair is actually kind of cool. You got the blue from all the Fire Emblem characters past, and the red from characters like Roy and Ellawood. But you've also got the blue and red, the dual phases, the, good guy, bad guy thing. You've got the blue and red, the Marth's cape, Lucina's cape. Ike's cape even kind of. Ike's color scheme is even kind of the blue and red. It's those little things that show you that in some way a lot of this game is nodding to other Fire Emblem games, and that makes me really excited. Maybe the story won't be as strong as some other ones, but the classes are going to be amazing. I mean, Malignite might be coming back based off of one of the characters' portraits. We might be getting back a class that existed for like one character in one game. But it's all about these nods and references. I mean, the fighting style of this game is partially borrowing from Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, with things like the build stat coming back. Partially borrowing from Heroes with the icons and the color scheme for them. Also showing that gauntlets might be silver. Colorless if they ever come to Heroes. We've got colorless mages. I don't know if we'll have mages of the rainbow of the red, blue, and green, or if they'll all be colorless for this game, but colorless mages do exist in Heroes. We've got so much that shows that this game is really thinking about all of Fire Emblem and trying to put it together, aside from just the emblems, because the emblems are easy. You just put characters from the old game in. But if you get into the mechanics and into the stories and try to do it in a loving and meaningful way, that's incredible. That shows a lot of effort and care from the development team, and that just makes me excited to see what more they're going to do. And the next trailer might be 2 months away, for all we know. I mean, we've got no clue, but whenever it is, I'm really excited to see what they've got waiting for us, because this looks like it could be actually amazing. So, despite all of the discourse about this game and people that are upset that, I mean, me who's upset that it's not my favorite character on the mural, or people that are upset that it's maybe the story won't be strong. But I think it's going to be really refreshing to have a somewhat basic story sandwiched between Three Houses and a potential Genealogy remake, because Genealogy is not an easy story either. And the story, I'm sure it will still take a lot of twists and turns, because Fire Emblem does that. Even the more basic storylines have some exciting twists throughout them. But taking all that out, if this is the most boring storyline, it is a nice mental break. But also, the really important thing is, I am so glad that we might actually get a game that is not going to rehash the Dimitri Edelgard discourse, because it was a pain. It is hard that when I go into any Fire Emblem related event or conversation, it comes up. Did you side with Dimitri Edelgard? Do you like both? Okay, but if you like both, which one do you like as a hero and which one is kind of a villain to you, or like whatever? People always want to make it a fight, and it's hard not to. I mean, these are very differing philosophies. But if this is just a one-route game, and it's just about, I mean, honestly, maybe they'll put in not a Dimitri and Edelgard fight, but a Lance user and an Axe user who can't get along. Little jokes like that to make fun of us. Maybe they'll put in Beast units like Tellius had. Or maybe they'll use Beast Stones again, like Awakening and Fates had. Either way, getting Beasts back, getting little jokes about our fights in there. These are very real possibilities that I think all of us would be able to look at and laugh at. And I think that's kind of what the fan base needs. Maybe a chance to come together, because ever since Awakening, it's always been a fight. I've been playing Fire Emblem for basically as long as I can remember, honestly. Some of the games I played the most. But Awakening was like a shift in it, right? Like, I love Awakening. But when you liked Awakening, you could go into these communities and see that they're actually trying to push you out. When Fates came out, there were huge fights about should avatars be main character. Rather than just have opinions, people had fights. People had fights about birthright and conquest, or does anything matter if they're going to have a Revelations. Most people were annoyed about how Revelations was handled, and that's fair. But people were actually upset at other people for liking the game. And then Three Houses came out, and people are really in these wars about routes and Edelgard or Dimitri. Claude's an option, but people don't get mad if you choose Claude. They kind of just fight amongst the other two. It's a whole mess, and I know there's already the hair controversy, but from a personal standpoint, the hair controversy with Alear is so much more refreshing than people going into these like philosophical wars and just these debates that turn into straight up fights about which character they side with. I know who I side with, and it's not like I've never been involved in them. I'm not even trying to say I'm better than everyone else at that. I'm just saying that it's going to be refreshing, that it's going to stop soon. But the shipping wars, on the other hand, those aren't going anywhere. Have a great day.